Each of these women came, weren't sure it was all gonna work, and they have been crushing it. Can we give them one more big kiss? Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm just so proud of you. It's like mothering, do you know what I mean? It's like being an auntie. Fuck. Okay. So I'd love to hear first, like, share with these beautiful women, like, what do you do? What do you stand for? You want to start?
Sure. Hello, powerhouses. My name is Keisha Mitchell. I am a success coach and speaker, and I help guide women into becoming the kind of powerhouses that recognize, make time for, and actually take action on what the world is calling you to do.
Oh! Yeah. Study how they do this, right? This was not like an overnight thing.
Hello, beauties. So my name is Debbie Lichter, and I help women get free from food addiction so that they can feel comfortable in their skin and really authentically shine their light.
So Debbie's one of my besties from my San Diego time and my second home down here, and she also makes the amazing jewelry back there. It's the side business that's actually doing really well.
Hi, loves. I'm Selena Gray. I'm a financial empowerment coach and a CPA. And I empower women entrepreneurs to stand in their power, claim their CEO status, call in more revenue, keep more profit, and release shame with their money.
Hello, beautiful women. I'm Robin Nielsen, and I help to empower women who suffer from symptoms of hormone imbalance, like weight gain, anxiety, and fatigue, to become the CEO of their own health so they can feel more vibrant, confident, and sexy.
Hello there. My name is Rose Cole, and I started a school called the Shamanic Academy, where I train spiritual leaders in shamanism. And what lights me up is watching light workers claim their gifts, their shamanic abilities, and go out and give their gifts to the world.
Hello again. I'm Sophia Tom, and I'm the creator, visionary, and midwife of Temple Body Art School of Sacred Sensuality and Dance, also Danyasa Eco Retreat in Costa Rica and Envision Festival in Costa Rica. And I am here to work with feminine leaders who are ready to stop playing small and stand in their confidence and value and birth their gifts into the world and feel a call to be part of this movement of the rise of the divine feminine. Thank you.
Can you feel the different flavor of power in each one? And can you feel how they're all just being themselves? Like, really. So I want to just dive in and hear from each of you, what's been the hardest thing? And what kind of results came out of you leaning in anyway? Because I've watched each of you walk through some stuff. Who wants to start? Selena, yeah.
Sure, I'm willing to go. So, as a CPA, I was trained to be an overachiever, basically. And I had burnt myself out completely, came out of the hospital with an autoimmune disease, built up my own business, and I found myself getting back into the busy, back into getting a lot of things in my schedule. And I had this goal. I was gonna have 20 income streams by 2020, and I'm talking about a lot, not just little income streams, all of them. And I realized, wait a second, I need some accountability here. I'm up inside my own head. Sage says, we need coaches, right? We need coaches. So when I hopped inside this program, what I really needed was to let my spirituality out. I had been immersed in a masculine world my entire career, and I was craving the feminine. I was craving the ability to stand in my truth and really honor that. And I had been opening up to that But this tribe of women here, and Sage and Megan, my coach, really allowed me to embody that spirituality, and that really got to go inside my client base. And it really is a ripple effect that I'm really proud of, that I got to embody inside of this. But more than that, I had been a speaker for many years, and I had been trading, a lot of time for money. And my income streams were good, but I was getting depleted again. And Sage really taught me how to leverage the power of stage and the power of speaking and stand in that spirituality altogether. And when I joined the program, I was ready to full blast, and life had another thing coming. So my very best friend, her daughter, who was 3, got diagnosed with brain cancer right a few literal months into the program. And of course, they're family to me, so everything had to stop. And we fundraised a lot of money for them. But this tribe was in the wings, supporting, waiting for me. And when I came back 8 months later, and so I needed to pause, but the tribe supported me, I was still able to produce a multiple 6-figure launch because Sage has a framework, and she has a support network, and she creates a tribe that we desperately need when we're feeling isolated and alone. So Sage, thank you.
I'm so proud of you. So this little girl was like Selena's other daughter. I mean, this was her daughter's best friend. This is her daughter's sister, practically. And when I watched you make the choice to say, I'm pausing this, I was like, yeah, you need to. And when you came back so clear and so committed, it was like that loss opened up your heart even bigger. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I think that was a pivotal thing, because when disaster strikes, and it all will for any of us, whether it's health or trauma or loss, that's when the healing can really begin, right? Yeah. And so when we can stand for my best friend, who is my sister, and we lost that little girl who died a few months after her 4th birthday. She made it 4.5 months. It really renewed what matters to me. And a healthy relationship to money matters, but it really also, my time matters, right? And we don't need to be busy. We need to be plugged into our families and the people who matter. And I work less than ever. And I have tons of time for my 4-year-old. And that's what matters.
And you just had a pre-launch that yielded, what, 70,000 in pre-launch?
Yeah, so I'm in the midst, my runway has just started. I'm 3 months out, and I had 8 beautiful women wanting to jump in.
Before she even opened doors.
Mm-hmm.
This
So I
is
made
this is
space
because
for
of the
them.
culmination of efforts of building Tribe, right?
And I have multiple programs running right now, and the doors are all closed. So yeah, my live event is later this year, and some women are waiting to come in, and yeah, nearly $80,000, and I haven't even opened the doors yet.
And I just want to say that's the power of taking the tools, prioritizing income-producing activities, being so clear and so connected to your own value, and just being a badass. Congratulations. Give her one more kiss. I'm so happy for you. Robin, you want to go?
Yes, so when I met Sage, I was in a place in my business where I was striving, but I was never arriving. Have you ever felt that? And my motto is just work harder, right? I'm not working hard enough, or I'm not, in my words, like beating my head against the wall hard enough. Because, in my world, it's just that I'm not working hard enough. Like, have any of you ever felt like, productivity is how you feel love and accomplishment? Yeah, that was definitely the case for me. But I was at a point, right, I'm a hormone expert, and my hormones were going haywire because I was so friggin' stressed out. And I was done. I'm like, this business model absolutely sucks. And I'm either going to quit and be done, or I'm going to figure this out. And Sage said, don't worry, I can help you figure this out. And I'm like, amen, sister. I'm all in. She said something else to me. I don't know if I can say it to her, but like,
Why not?
and then there's Hawaii. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's great because, you know, in being part of Sage's program and in the beautiful, you know, tribe that she's created, it's incredible because I can follow a plan, and she has, you know, the plans. And I've been doing quite a few of the things that, you know, she teaches, but just not quite in the way that she teaches them. And, you know, I didn't have like the end game in mind each time, you know, and some very specific things. So, you know, it really transformed my life and my business in a really big way to be part of this beautiful community. And oh my gosh, the sisters are, you know, absolutely incredible. They are, you know, as amazing as the program is itself. So, yeah.
She took this thing on. She's like, Facebook Live, great. Every month, I'll do it every month. And boom, you guys saw her launch plan earlier, right? $500,000 in revenue,
Yes.
right? And you've just been absolutely changing people's lives. You have over 100 paying clients.
Yeah, we have a couple hundred.
A couple hundred paying clients at once.
Yes.
And can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that a couple hundred women are walking around more balanced, right? Not at the whim of their hormone imbalances, not at the whim of not sleeping. This is quality of life stuff, and you're so freaking good at what you do. Like, that is such a huge part of your success. So, like, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it fuels your fire, like when you see your client's success, right?
Yeah.
So even if you just have one client, you know, as soon as you see them making that transformation, it's like, yes, you know, I can do this again.
Yay. Give her one more kiss. Mwah. Who wants to go next? Sophia.
Yes, hello. So I have been living in Costa Rica for almost 13 years, and yeah, I spent a lot of time there feeling really isolated and feeling like I built this beautiful retreat center with my husband, but just feeling like, okay, this is amazing, but where are the people? How do I like actually get people to enjoy this dream of mine? And started Envision Festival, which totally took off. Has anyone here been to Envision or heard
It's
of
a
it?
big festival in
It's
Costa
like,
Rica.
Wow, well, check it out. It's a transformational festival.
How many people attend?
Like 7,000 now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it started in 2011.
It's Sophia's festival. I mean, I flew to Costa Rica to visit Sophia a few months ago, and I get out of my Uber, my driver, and I'm walking down the street in this little town, and there's her face on the billboard. That's my client. I'm like, she's way more, I've never been on a billboard. And it's like Envision Festival, right? And I'm like, that's Sophia's festival. So I just want to say, like, she wasn't just hanging out by the pool, right? Like, she was building a tribe. But when you came to me, you described what you had going on. I was like, do you have 80 hours in the day? Because I had no idea how you could possibly be doing all that.
Yeah, and I had all these different programs, but I felt like I was constantly in a launch. I mean, I'd got myself online back in 2013. I was like, okay, I have to get online. But I was still, like when you said, yeah, like striving and never arriving. It was like, I'm working my ass off here, and it is not turning into money in my bank. Like, has anyone ever felt that? It's like, what is going on here? There's something that needs to shift. And yeah, when I met you by the pool in Costa Rica, and I didn't know who you were, what was going on, but I just remember coming to the first event a year and a half ago in Santa Cruz and just feeling like, oh my God, like this is my tribe. And it wasn't even just you, but all the women that surround you. And feeling the energy, and I was like, this is what has been missing in my life. And was just, yeah, it was a full body yes. And since then, it's just been amazing to like see I already had all the pieces, but just bringing it all together into like one path and really finding that discernment of like, okay, what is not really in alignment of like building this tribe and this movement and this school.
Yeah.
And
And
it's been
instead of like
amazing.
8 classrooms full of clients, we now have just 2 or 3 classrooms full of clients, and you're able to, right, run your business off of just fewer programs. You're
Yeah,
doing such a
definitely.
beautiful job.
And the team now.
The team.
I don't feel isolated. I have an amazing team there in Danyasa holding down the retreat center, and have an amazing team that work with me remotely, and just building that and
Yeah.
actually like seeing the money coming in. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Yay, so proud of you. Give her a kiss. It's amazing. She's doing multiple 6-figure launches. And here's the thing, right? Like, we have to understand how this builds out. Who do I hire first? Who do I hire second? So that I'm making a smart investment in my business rather than just hiring randomly, right? So we've gotten a chance to work a lot on that. Who wants to go next? Debbie has spoken. Are you on?
I don't think I'm on.
There you go, my love. Up. Try it. There you go.
So my biggest challenge was actually really playing small, and feeling like I could gather a few women in a room and feel confident speaking in front of a few women, but I really was holding back. Does anybody relate to that? Like holding back and kind of dimming my light and just not putting myself out there. And it was like, well, these people really get me, so they understand me, but kind of just a little intimidated of really putting myself out there in a bigger way, and getting judged or getting pushback, because I help women get free from food and other addictions, and I just didn't want the pushback of the judgment of all of that and what comes with that. And so I found myself just kind of doing okay, but not really like going all in and taking it to the next level. And I remember so distinctly this bestie of mine and my coach, Megan, wherever she is right now, I remember you really, really just saying to me, like, you're not doing this for you, And it was so powerful for me, because as long as I was holding back and playing small, I was making it all about me. And this isn't about me. This is about the women that I'm out here to serve. This is about the message that's pouring through me that's meant to transmit to the hearts and souls that are out there in the world. And who am I to hold that message back? And so I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going all in. I'm going all in. And that all-inness, that willingness to be in the grit and the discomfort, and to, doing a live event, and to just like putting myself out there in a big, big way, the event was very successful, and I ended up, having, that one was almost a 6-figure launch, and then another 6-figure launch came just a little bit later. But it was less about what the outcome was, and I'm like, I'm not doing this for the outcome. I'm doing it for who I get to become on the other side of going all in. And that was everything. And I feel like what this community does, what this coaching program does, and what the step-by-step tools do, is they help me. When I say, okay, I'm showing up fully and I'm going to go all in, then I am met 150% with everything that I need to literally hold my hand and walk me through that. And it's so, so powerful. And so another thing I was so intimidated to do was like this whole online thing. I was like, yeah, okay, I can do the live event thing. I can get people in a room. I can connect heart to heart, belly to belly. But like webinars and all of that online stuff is really intimidating to me, and I just don't know about that. And again, it was like, who are you here to serve? Are you here just to serve a local population? Or are you here to serve women globally? And I'm like, I'm here to serve women globally. And so it was like, go all in. I said, screw it. Okay, so this year I did my first online summit. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I donated 100% of the sales from the summit to a humanitarian organization that I really believe in. And on the back end of that, I still had a 6-figure launch. And
But
it
it's
was
not.
just-
But it's not still. Part of the 6-figure launch comes from the fundraising every time. It's the give and the take, and I see that happen over and over again. And you went all in, and you trusted. If I show up and I give, it's going to flow back, and it works. And I watched it.
It works, and I will say this, is that I was still intimidated. I mean, I know that,
Well,
you
yeah.
know, if you're watching us and like, oh, this happened and this happened, I was like on calls with Megan and talking, you know, and saying, can you please hold my hand through this? Like, I don't even know, like, how do I do this on this, like, what platform do I use for this? And like, being in the vulnerability of that and being able to ask that, not feel stupid, and have someone meet you in that. Like, I had, you know, coaches, bless them, like 2 years ago who were like, oh, do a webinar and do this and do this. And they actually told me to do what I did this year, but I didn't have the tools, someone to meet me there and say, this is exactly how, and I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm not gonna shame you or make you feel stupid. And that was everything for me. It was everything for me. And so now I am helping women in Europe and all over in different countries and continents, and it's amazing. So, yeah.
Yay. It's so good to keep getting validated. I've had a lot of my clients come up to me here, and our clients plug into events every few months because, most of them don't like to go more than 3 or 4 months without being back in the energy. And it is so good for me to hear that that's the experience, because my commitment is that if one of my year-long clients needs something and we don't have it for them, we create it. That is my commitment. If I'm studying with somebody, if somebody's studying with me for a year and they need something that we haven't created, we create it. That's our job. So it's just really good to hear that I continue to hear that that's your experience, because it's what we do. We basically take everything that we've used and everything we've helped our clients use, and it's there for you. So Keisha, you want to go?
Sure. So I would say one of my biggest challenges was, I don't know, how many super women do we have out here? Or people think you're a superwoman, right? So I was playing Superwoman, and part of that means being really rebellious. No matter all of the books that you're reading, all of the things, and I was like, oh, Sage's like, do this. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'll do it my way.
Do you know those clients that stretch you? Like, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to look into this strong woman's eyes, and I'm going to tell her what I think. She'd be like, I don't know.
Like, that works for you, that's not going to work for me. So, but it was such a lesson, because I know with my own clients that a lot of times behind that superwoman and that I don't need any support, I can do it all myself, lies that piece that you feel like maybe you don't really belong here. I'm just going to do it all myself, because then no one else, I'll have no one else to blame. It's that self-sabotage that we do to ourselves when we just take it all on and then it all falls apart and we're just like, see, it wasn't supposed to work for me. This isn't where I belong. And so that is one of the things that I learned here. Not only just that I belong on these stages, not only that I have so much to give, right? And that the women that I now serve, they give me so much. That's one of the things that I always say. I work with women around their calling. And people are like, oh yeah, you do this and you transform lives, but our calling is our fuel. Mm-hmm. It's our fuel, and it's often why we're so exhausted, because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And we can do that, right? But if you don't have the right systems and the right framework, then what happens? We do the same thing all over again. I tried, but look, it wasn't for me. And so I finally was like, okay, I'll do it the way you say. I didn't put my own little stuff on it, of course, a little.
I want that. But imitate and innovate.
That's right, yes. And so now I have a framework, and the framework has helped me through this last year. Has been one of my hardest years. My dad passed maybe about 7 months ago, I think now, and my father raised me. He was a single father, and he passed rather quickly, and his illness started 3 weeks before my life event. And so I was caregiving every single day, feeding him and doing all of that. And knowing that, like, I had a framework, I had systems, I had an ambassador team, I had everything that she teaches, that she told me to do. And on top of that, I had support. I would come into the groups and say, you guys, I don't know. like, I think maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Like, I don't have the motivation. I don't know what I can give to people right now. I feel so depleted. And they were like, take time, and then come back out and use your calling as your fuel. And that's what I did. And you talk about the retreats, and we had our Hawaii retreat. Right after that, my father passed, and 4 days later was the Hawaii retreat. And I just wanted to be underneath the bed. And, my coach, Shayna, and Sage, were literally like, do what you need to do, but we have you. And my husband was like, go. This is what you do. And this is your tribe. These are the women who have supported you. And I went, and it was so beautiful. And I sat there. I was a mess. I was a mess, but I was supported.
This is, to me, one of the biggest reasons to build these businesses, because I'm on stage in Hawaii, and I know Keisha's dad just died, and we don't know if she's coming, and she freaking walks in halfway through the first day. And tears are like leaking out of the corners of my eyes, and I watch like 5 of the women in the back row get up, float to the door, surround her with sisterhood, bring her in. We're talking about business, we're crying. I'm like, this is real freaking life. It's like, where else are we gonna get to go be all of who we are? We get to build it. And that way we can show up when we have stuff going, our lives go down, we can show up however we need to. Because we have clients that are like, yeah, if you're grieving, show up grieving, right?
I'm just exactly what my clients did.
So proud of you, Keisha. When you walked into that Hawaii retreat, I'm like, that girl's gonna go as far as she wants to. Because you're unstoppable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The new superwoman with support.
Rose, what about you?
Hi there. So I was at a point in my life where I was just coming out of a very messy, very expensive divorce. And I had a small little daughter who was still at home. And I had made a promise to myself to stay at home with her while she was little, before she got into first grade. And so I just put everything on credit cards. That's what I did during that time. I just worked just enough to get by, and knowing that at some point I was going to ramp up my business again. And I amassed a lot of debt with this divorce, like a huge, what seemed like a mountain of debt. And I had no idea how I was going to pay this. And it was just always there humming along in the background. So my daughter was getting ready to go into first grade, and so I said, okay, now it's time to ramp my business up again. And I put stuff out there online, and crickets. I started a Facebook group because I heard, that was hot, and nobody was joining. And the people I had in it, they just weren't sticking. And I realized, wow, I don't know what's hot anymore in marketing. I don't know what the latest techniques are. And I just felt so out of the loop. And here I was trying to do it alone as this lone wolf, and I just felt totally isolated. And I started to take it really personally. Like, wow, this is me. It must be something I'm doing, right? How many of us do that? And so then I decided to take this leap and invest in this program. And I'm gonna cry. I only had money on one credit card left to put the first payment on, okay? And I'd applied for another credit card and I got denied. And all of that shame and the story and all of that stuff crept in. It was like, okay, I need something to work like fast. And so I was just all in. So I put the first payment on a credit card, and I made the whole investment for the year of the program. I made it back in the first week. And then the second week, I made the entire year's worth of the program back again. And the third week, I did it again.
She kept coming back, and she's like, I did it again. I'm like, all right, we need to have you make a video about this.
And I was scared. There was a whole bunch of edges. I was used to doing things online, and back a long time ago, that was hot, and that's what worked. And all of a sudden, nobody's opening up emails anymore, right? And so I wasn't used to doing live events. And so some of Sage's models, I was just to do an event like this, like a 3-day event, or even a 2-hour talk was way out of my comfort zone. And so I said, well, how fast can I do this? Because I need to do this like yesterday. And she's like, you could do it in like a month and a half. You could start, do a 3-day event. I was like, what? And so I did it, and I did over $150,000 with that launch. In 3 months, I'd made $230,000. And I went into the bank 2 days before the end of the year. I'd made a promise to myself that I was going to pay off all of the debt at once because I was considering before bankruptcy. And I just said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pay off all of this debt, and I'm going to do it before the end of the year. And I marched into the bank 2 days before the end of the year, and I paid off all of the debt at once.
Wow.
And it felt so amazing.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm really grateful. Everybody keeps talking about the tribe and the women and all of that. So amazing. I knew for me, I don't do well with home study courses. I have so many that I've bought that and so I needed hand-holding. I needed a coach. I have an amazing coach. Megan is somewhere here. She's amazing. I needed to get on the phone with someone. I needed accountability. I needed like a step-by-step plan that was spelled out, and I needed sisters around me. I couldn't do this anymore as a lone wolf. We're not meant to be doing this as light workers. We're meant to be joining our lights together. And so to have a board of directors and be able to get on the phone with women or send each other texts and speak the same language and be like, what do you think of this subject line? What do you think about this? What about this date? Is this enough time? And to have other women that know the models that we're using, I really appreciated that.
I watched you come back so strong and so committed. Give her one more kiss. And are you seeing that you do not have to be someone who helps people make money to make money? I mean, these women, they span the gamut of results that they're offering, and they have committed to the transformation that they provide. Can you see that? That's what has them be successful. Let me just show you quickly, real briefly, what they look like online, because some of these women some of you guys came and you're like, yeah, no, I don't really want to get online. Simple, beautiful websites that are creating tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's Robin, Sleep Your Way to Hormone Balance. We saw that before. Sophia Tom, right, did her interview series for Temple Body Day. She got to interview me. Look at this amazing costume. Sophia's out there being Sophia. That's why it works, right? There's her opt-in page on how to become a magnetic goddess. Here's Rose's Rituality site. It's beautiful, right? It speaks to her clients. Here's Keisha, right? Clarity, courage, confidence, right? Can you feel the energy coming through, right? This is what these women have put together. They're simple. None of these websites cost hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. They're affordable. These are simple, right? Selena's got a gorgeous money score quiz. Debbie's got an absolutely beautiful emotional eating opt-in page. So I just want you to see what's possible, right? When you say yes to just figuring it out. What would you say, I just want to hear from a couple of you because we just have a few minutes left. What would you say to, how is our program different than other programs?
I can go really quickly. I believe one of the main things that makes a difference is the feminine balance that you bring to it, and that we can walk through the world not in this very masculine way of going for our goals and hustling, but we can actually be in the world in business in the way that we flow as women.
Thanks, Keisha.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely second that with just the feminine way. I just feel so completely comfortable and relaxed, and I just, there's almost this every single woman in the programs I know I can walk up to and I'm like, this is a sister. I just feel that. But the other thing that I would say too is that there's so much step-by-step, really detailed, down to the smallest detail of what you might need to know to actually do something. And I think, I don't know, so many other places make so many assumptions, you're supposed to just somehow already know this stuff. And here's where you get to be like, I'm sorry, I really don't get how to do that thing. It's yeah, there's a whole training just on that thing, which is so great. Yeah.
This makes me so happy as a school teacher. I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
They like my geeky school teacher. I have a template for everything. And I want to, if anybody else wanted to answer, I also want to have you add, how do you get the courage to invest again if it hasn't gone well? I mean, I was 40 or 50 in the hole from making investments that weren't really going well for me. And I remember calling upon that courage to just make that one next investment with that mentor that finally felt like, oh, like this actually feels like it's more accessible?
Yeah, I'd happy to speak to that. I found like I really, like us all, wanted to get more visible. I was in local TV and things like that, and I wanted to get, everyone was telling me I needed to get global traction. And that if I just built an online funnel and dumped a whole bunch of money into Facebook ads, that everyone would be knocking. And I took a course and I followed, because I'm a good student, I listen, I follow the rules. And I dumped like $4,000 into Facebook ads, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then I came into Women Rocking Business, and they're like, oh, we'll use your gift as speaking in your local audience and do a 6-figure launch. And I'm like, can it really be that simple? It is. It's incredible. And I've watched women with no tribe whatsoever go and create a tribe, lean on her sisterhood for support, lean on the trainings, the detailed step-by-step, and crush it. And so if you're feeling like you can't do it, all of us are really unique, and that's the point. There's not one person who's exactly the same in this program, and you can all do it too, and that's what I love. I've been investing in myself like quite significantly over the years, and the return in this program is exactly what you put in. You see it back tenfold. The return on this, being the CPA in the room, the return on investment in this course is worth its weight in gold.
You know, there's just so much to invest in when we're starting a business, right? How do we know? But in my experience, you don't dump money into Facebook ads until you actually already know people click the thing. Do that first. So we have free strategies. Here's how you build your audience online that costs you nothing. Let's get you doing that first. And when that's working, then put some money into Facebook ads, right? So it's like, you can brand yourself. Great. Now you have a fancy $20,000 website that has it's like putting up a restaurant in the middle of the desert with no roads going to it. Great, right? So like I always say, and I'm not as attached to where you invest. I'm just saying, find a mentor, right, that knows how to do it and invest there first so that you get a plan that actually works in this industry, and then you'll know what to spend money on, right? Like we kind of have it listed out in our programs, like here's what you want to spend money on first, here's second, here's third, once the money's coming in, right? And that'll just save you. It just saves you from spinning out. Did you want to add?
So I had spent about $32,000 I was trying to figure it out on programs. I joined 2 different programs, and you know, what they were teaching was nothing that I could do. I mean, it wasn't in a place where I was. It was really expensive to implement their strategies. It was like book launches, and you know, they had these big blueprints, and I'm like, well, I'm not there, and I don't know when I'm going to be there. So I really got nothing out of the programs. And so, as you can imagine, I was a little reticent to, you know, join yet another program. But like I said, I was either going to blow up what I was doing or change it in a really big way. And everything that Sage teaches is so doable for every single one of you. It's so doable. And I do my Facebook challenges almost on a $0 budget. Really. So all of it is so doable. You can implement absolutely everything. And everything that, you know, each one of you has said is so true. Like it's step by step. And then you have, of course, the whole sisterhood. I have to tell you just a super quick story. When I was talking to Sage and Deborah about joining the program, there was a picture of women in a circle. On, always there's a picture of women and you know, holding hands. And I said, well, I can do everything in the program but that.
Don't put me in the kumbaya circle.
Exactly, because I had just come from a women's choir and I'd taken on 26, problems, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I can't hold space for all these women. And it was so funny. So, Deborah's like, oh, okay, whatever. So, of course, now that's my favorite thing about the program, right, is the amazing women. So,
thank you. All right. So we got 1 minute left. Speed round.
Yes.
What is your biggest piece of advice that you would have given yourself before you had the success? One sentence. Speed round, we have 1 minute left. Who wants to go first?
Be all in. Find that place within you that has conviction and just take the step before the solution presents itself. Just be all in. Say yes to your purpose.
And I would just add to that, pick the one thing that you love to do, like that is really comfortable for you, and just start there. And no matter what pressure you're getting from the beautiful women in the tribe, start where you're comfortable, because you'll know when you're ready for the next step.
It's hot.
You will be loved for exactly who you are, and you can make all the money you desire because you are enough.
Go all in, and don't do it for the outcome. Do it for who you will get to become on the other side of going all in.
Yes.
I believe the path to higher spirituality, the path to the divine, is a path through your heart to your calling. And so believe in yourself like you believe in democracy and God and all the rest of that stuff. Believe in you.
Yes, and remember to always take care of your body, your temple body. And so, just to carve out that time, even if it's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day, to drop into your body and to move your body and get out of your head, because that's when the magic really comes through.
Are you so glad to hear from these women? Aren't they amazing? Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much.